are these people?
And so, of course, we put up the flyer, and here come the G-Hive trolls that claim they want March for Medicare. They want Medicare for all, but what are they doing? They're just kind of tweeting, "Grifter, grifter, this is a grift." That's all we've seen this morning from, I don't know, 25 people, maybe. What do you think?
Yeah. We're grifting with all of the, like 5 cents we're gonna take home personally from streaming this shit. It's like they look at for instance, my channel or Savage Joy's channel. Like, we don't make enough to even like live on. What are you talking about, man? I don't make anything off of my channel, but it's ridiculous. It's just they go after everybody that doesn't want to give all of their money to more progressives in Congress. They want all the poor people to pour all their money into people like AOC. So AOC can go out and do what she does best and what she's already done in the past, which is give a lot of her money to blue dog Democrats like Connor Lamb. That's what they think is organizing, and that's what they think is a good use of your money. Don't give that money to the people, organizing a march for Medicare for all that we already did last year that was a success. Give your money to AOC so she can give it to the Democratic Party. That's what they think is organizing and is a effective way to get Medicare for all. So it doesn't make any goddamn sense. Right. I could go on all day.
Give it to AOC so she can then turn around and give it to corporate Democrats for the DNC.
Exactly.
Right?
Yep. Exactly. That's what they'll say. It's like, no. Let's donate to more Justice Democrats. Get more Justice Democrats in there and redonate to people like AOC who go in there and then give away your donation money to people who aren't even for Medicare for all. It's fucking silly people.
I mean, it's Manchin, it's Cinema, it's the parliamentarian, it's the rotating villain that we're going to end up hearing about at some point, and that's why we don't have it, and that's why they're not fighting for Medicare for all. I still don't understand what they're exactly doing while they're complaining about the fact that we are trying to organize something to raise awareness, to raise money, to have an event, a protest in person, and again, to bring awareness and to show people in Congress and people all over that, and have not just the march in DC, but people who want to organize all over the country on July 30th and do that.
Yeah. Most of the people involved in this aspire to organize and inspire other people in the way of like Malcolm X or Fred Hampton. These motherfuckers go out there and they're aspiring to be Jeff in Miami. So congratulations, your hero is Jeff in Miami. That's not that's not the way I want to organize.
Right? Yeah. These are the people that claim that they want Medicare for all, and that's what I find is the funniest part of this whole thing is they're not organizing. They're trying to encourage elected officials to what? I mean, they've got people there that aren't challenging, that aren't even talking about Medicare for all. Really, they had a hearing. It was nice for a day. It was like the poverty stories again. It's like the same thing that they do. They kind of pat it on the head with unions and with the Amazon union. We talk about it for a day, and then we go back to the rest of the news, and they forget about it. It's like there's no consistency follow-up. It's the platitudes, and it's really frustrating because there are people laser focused on issues, and they don't want to listen to or talk to those people because they bring up things that are uncomfortable to the politicians.
Yeah. If these progressives in Congress actually cared about this, you'd see at least some of them tweeting about how Joe Biden can give Medicare for all via Section 1881 Alpha of the Social Security Act. But you don't even see them rhetorically going along with something like that. So they don't care even enough to point out that this could be done easily because of the pandemic. They don't even do that. So these people, they exist to neutralize momentum for Medicare for all by going out there and acting like basically how Hassan Piker was before the General Strike Summit. They're overly reductive about it, and they go, well, these people are organizing from their homes. They're doing a stream, and they count that as organizing. It's like, no. There's a lot to organizing. One of the things that helps organizing go smoothly is having a big platform to help get people involved in it. That's what we're using our shows for and our channels for. So it's overly reductive to be like, oh, these people are just armchair activists. No, most of the people involved in this are commentators, activists on the side, and they also have jobs. So we're doing everything we can, and we're using our channels as a tool to help our activism. And it's ridiculous when you come out and you do the Jeff in Miami thing where you go out there and act like we're not actually doing anything because we're using our channels to effectively organize our event. So it's stupid. No one really buys what these people are laying down. I don't think. I think that everybody can kind of realize that when they call people grifter, they're projecting quite a bit. A lot of these people are heavily invested in protecting the status quo and particularly protecting the squad and progressives in Congress. And they want your money to be spent on progressives in Congress rather than spending your money donating to people who are doing activism outside the duopoly. That's what I think is going on. It's really sad. And of course, if you look at any of these people's Twitters, for instance, you always notice that they have almost no followers. like they're these tiny little, either they're straight up bots or they're these useful idiots who have no followers who just go out there and spew the grifter or the armchair activist talking points. That's why I went after Hassan Piker before the General Strike Summit, is because he's overly reductive in talking about how the General Strike Summit doesn't do anything. Yeah, right. That had a ton of views, and we had a whole bunch of great ideas passed along. And note to self, that's how you do activism. That's how you organize, is you get as many eyeballs as you can on the information and then try to invite people to the event using your channels. But they never actually explain it that way. They act like we're doing nothing.
And let me tell you, it is a lot of work, coordination, time, volunteer, again, organizing to get everybody together that has a platform to be able to get together on a specific day at a specific time and coordinate all of this. It is a tremendous lift, and that's one of the things I wanted to kind of talk about today is what are the logistical struggles that go into organizing a marathon stream type of event like this, where you're bringing people who have different technology, different skills, different levels of engagement with how much they even are used to being on camera or doing Zoom type of streams, or being in a live stream roundtable type of panel setting. That's just to begin with, let alone the actual logistics of how many channels are you going to stream it to, which platforms is it going to appear on, how many people are you going to have moderating chats. I mean, you've participated in a few of these things. I don't know if how much you've run on the back end, but we use the streaming software, and then showing how do you show the live chat like we're doing right now on the screen. I mean, there are so many different little things that have to come together. Again, your experience from participating in these marathons and seeing the amount of preparation that goes into it, the amount of time and money invested in making sure that you have the software and all the tools to do that, right?
Yeah, and I haven't done a whole lot on the back end. I'll like invite certain people or let them know that I'm going to be on there, and that if they want to participate, they're welcome to. But mostly, like for instance, our INN sister Lucy at Blue Moon Red Wine did the student loan strike summit, and after she was done with that, she was so exhausted that she had to take a break for like a week or two afterwards, because it just takes it out of you. Same thing with Revolutionary Blackout Network doing the General Strike Summit. It's not easy. You got to coordinate schedules. You got to reach out to as many as 10, 20, 30, 40 people and make sure that everybody's on board, and then double checking, making sure everybody has their links. And then there's, like you said, moderators, people that are making sure that it's streaming correctly and that all the right buttons are pushed. I don't know how that stuff works. You guys are wizards in my mind for even being able to do it. But yeah, like it's not an easy thing to do. And organizing online to get like the word out about these events, that's still organizing. That's just an arm of organizing an event in 2022. And for all these people that act like we're not doing anything, it's like, what do you want me to do? Go stand on a soapbox in the middle of the park and yell and tell them I'm going to be on doing this, or I'm going to be at this event, helping out this strike or a union or whatever? No. We have between us, especially thousands of people that watch our channels. So the most effective way for us to get people to show up for said event is by using these organizing summits online. And again, they're overly reductive about it because they're not actually trying to help get a whole bunch of people to organize around Medicare for all. They exist to protect the squad, which they believe is the most effective way for us to get Medicare for all. But of course, we've gone over it a million times. The squad doesn't give a damn about getting Medicare for all. They didn't try to force the vote. They take all your donation money and give it to blue dog Democrats who don't support Medicare for all. So all of these people are just, in my mind, they're kind of pathetic because they could just keep their damn mouth shut. Like Hassan Piker and Jeff in Miami, they could just leave us alone. That's the minimum you could do if you actually gave a shit. But no, they go out and actively attack us, which leaves me and you and most of the INN people no choice but to attack them back. So they always seem to be trying to nerf progress when it comes to Medicare for all, when it comes down to a pragmatic way of actually organizing around it. It makes them very suspect, if you ask me. Do they really want this stuff, or do they really just worship the squad members and play defense for them at every turn, regardless of how shitty they are? I don't know. You guys decide.
Yeah, I'm not really sure, but I think it's kind of embarrassment. It's like, well, you guys are doing something great, like good for you. But like again, where's that Miami March for Medicare for all?
Right.
I'd probably go.
Yeah.
Like look.
That's what I'm saying, and we would not attack him.
That. Like if he wants to organize, good for him. But what he's organizing is a troll farm and a troll factory to go after actual organizers and poor people on behalf of the boutique, or the managerial left, or whatever you want to call them, the progressive left, unfortunately, and I've been seeing that more and more, and I hate, again, because we're part of the event is the real progressives, and they're tremendous advocates for Medicare for all, and they're all about how you pay for it with MMT. I think that's a great idea. I'm cool with all of that. And any way we want to pay for it, even if we want to pay for it by reducing our military and funding it however we need to fund it. Every other country in the world has this figured out for the most part. So, again, I'm going to continue to be an
Medicare for all
advocate.
actually saves money. I mean, that's the thing that people don't realize is the Medicare for all system would cost something like, I think it's $33 trillion over 10 years, but our current system costs 40, depending on what study you look at, it costs like 40 trillion, maybe a little bit less than that. The the Koch funded study said that Medicare for all saves 2 trillion. The Amherst University of Massachusetts Amherst study says that it saves 5 trillion. And I've seen other studies that say that it saves more than that over a decade. So it saves somewhere between 200 and 500 billion dollars a year. So it doesn't cost extra. There's a million ways that we could actually pay for it. Just doing something like a tax on the stock market would do it. Something like that. Reducing the military budget would do it. Taxing billionaires would do it. A combination of those things is I think the best way to make sure that it gets paid for. But your taxes as an individual that makes a decent or less than $400,000 a year would not increase if you're getting a Medicare for all system. And just to go back to your original point, if Jeff in Miami actually did organize something like that, I would promote it on my show and I would go, good job, Jeff. That's the difference between them and us, is that if Hassan Piker went out there and did a general strike summit on his show, I'd be the first person to be like, holy shit, he's actually using his show to organize. That would be great. I would not hold a grudge whatsoever. I would immediately go out and be like, good job, Hassan Piker. But they don't do the same thing for us. They want it their way, which is the way that's not working. And it hasn't been working for the last 40 years, which is just sheepdogging more people into the Democratic Party. And that hasn't gotten us anywhere so far. If anything, we're going backwards because we've put more Democrats in office. And now the Democrats have a complete majority in Congress, and we're farther away from Medicare for all than we ever have been. Joe Biden's not even talking about a public option, which he campaigned on. So, I mean, what are we doing here? The Democrats that are elected right now have a tremendous amount of power, including the squad. to actually force Joe Biden to give it to us via executive order, and they're not even saying it. So these people don't have a plan. Their whole function is to look like they have a plan, give the facade that they have a plan for Medicare for all, and to smear people like us who are actually trying to come up with a plan and who are building momentum for it outside of the duopoly.